All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back to another session of this great show, A Man's Journey, uh, walking down that path of the caregiver's path and to the special needs path, to whatever path you're on that's suffering from rare disease. And today, as you can see, I got a special guest in the back there, Mr. Sebastian, again. He seems to be the my late night guest host, as if you all you people out there that are not as old as I am. There used to be like two hosts on a late night show for Johnny Carson. But I digress. So, as you can see, we have Mr. Nick on today, and we're going to just talk about probably some stuff that really resonates with a few people out there, not just Nick or Sebastian or myself. And it's basically our exploration of fear, right? And the neuroscience behind it and how it deals with our mental capacity and our mental condition. So, what is fear, right? Is that an emotion? Yeah, it's a fundamental emotion that's basically hardwired into our brains since birth as a survival mechanism. And if you do these definitions over here, like I've done on Google, it's basically there's a lot of like a medical speak, as I would say, medical speak, from the physiological to the psychological responses to the biological factors, all relating in personal experiences. And men are the biggest culprits of not dealing with fear or leading with fear. It's almost very similar. It's crazy. We're going to get into that. So if you want to talk about the brain and the prefrontal cortex, I'm not going to talk about that because you can do a deep dive and you can go to Google Scholar, where I did to do my research today. So you can just talk about that. What I'm going to talk about is outside the medical speak. We talk about the societal fears and how we as men are judged and how we react and what we do in response to our fear. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Anything that we do is a response to fear. Everything. Most of our decisions are fear-based. Most. We tend to look into some moments of joy. That's not so much fearful, but everything that when we are doing in our lives is pretty much fear-based reactions. We fight, we speak negatively, we have a lot of responsibility, we start to stress out. And basically what it's all coming down to is it's a reaction of I'm going to miss out on something, I'm going to lose something, I'm going to regret something, and if I don't react, it's going to be bad, so I better react somehow, some way. And it's usually anger, it's when we treat somebody really bad with our words, it's stress, it's attacking others physically. These things are all components of fear, right? And so when we get into how to deal with the fear, we're going to talk about some strategies today. Of course, my go-to obviously is mindfulness and meditation, if you can do it. Another one of my top two is the gym, physical exercise. And then we have to really practice our speaking, our ways on how we communicate. Therapeutic interventions. I've always told you this. If you don't have a therapist, please get one today. You need a medical professional to help you navigate some of these tools that we don't have. I highly suggest it. I'm in therapy. There are kids in therapy back there, and I hope you are too. So we're going to talk about the understanding of how you understand your fears today and what you can do to negate some of those negative connotations as men have been given these last few years. We have been given a bevy of definitions of negativity as how men react and how we act. And I'm hoping to straighten out the record these days. So we're going to get into it. All right. So I appreciate you guys joining us today. So basically our topic today is a man's exploration of fear. And the neuroscience behind that, that's just a beautiful second thing what we'll do. I'll tell you just to Google it. We're going to talk about, the human emotion and how we deal with our fears and why we're like fearful. That's what we're going to talk about. Because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed practicing clinician. I'm just a dad who's in the mental health space, who's trying to give you some tips and tricks on how to navigate your everyday life in your world as a caregiver or someone that's suffering from a rare disease, or if you have a friend that's affecting you that's in this space as well. And maybe you could help that man in some way by listening to us. So we're going to jump right into it. And today we have a couple guests, as I said before. You got Sebastian back there. What's up, Sabby? Sebastian. Sebastian. There he is. All right. And we have Mr. Nick. Welcome, Nick. First time here. Appreciate you joining us today. How you feeling?
Well, just got a lot in my mind. Let me ask, can you see that? No, you cannot. Okay, hold on.
Well, if you would just keep it, if you just keep it to the camera and let it like populate into where I can read it, I could probably read it.
I need to turn my brightness settings down. Give me a second.
Hey.
There. Hold on. I'm actually not done here.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Sebastian, why are you acting like a cat? Stop scratching that couch. Are you a cat? Yes. Well, come in closer because it's still blurry. Come in closer. I can't see it, brother. Can you just put that in the chat for me? It won't populate.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
It won't populate on the
that's
recording.
actually that's actually
all right. So while you're writing that, we're going to talk about a couple things that I was fearful about, and that was the fear that I had when I was told that I needed to be useful again from another program instead of me fighting and expecting and having a better time, full of worry, rot, and fear. I was told to not listen to those things and to try to be useful. And when I challenged that mentor or friend of mine, I said, "What do you mean try to be useful? I'm always useful. Do you see what I'm doing? Can't you see how I'm doing it? Don't you know who I am?" It's so arrogant, egotistical to this man. And he says, "I don't care about any of that. I can give to you know what's right. So I just want you to be useful." And I said, "How? In what situation?" He says, "In every situation. And I want you to be grateful. I'm already grateful." He says, "First of all, I want you to stop talking back." That was hard for me to do because I even though I asked for this man's help, I still wanted to tell him that I knew everything. So I was useful. Can you guess who I was useful to? Not that guy back there. No, not him. I was being useful to his mother. His mother and I are very estranged. We have been divorced almost, I'd have to say, 10 years now. We just began to chat again. We have conversations like once every couple of years. I have full custody. It's not what I wanted. It's what she felt it was necessary to move on with her life, and that's fine. But sometimes you need to put aside all of your fear and your anger and your resentment for a better reason. And when I asked that man, "How can I do that?" he told me to be useful. And it was challenging. But I did it. Seriously. I mean, and everything that he told me that would happen actually happened. And you're probably wondering what he said to me. And it went something like this: if you're going to be useful to someone, make sure you give them all of the information so that they can be a better person. And in this situation, a better parent. Why would you withhold information that could help your son? And I immediately felt like a jerk, right? Because I wanted to teach her a lesson. I wanted her to do the right thing. And you know what? I was really hurting my son in the process, both my sons. And the minute I said, here's what's going on, this is what you need to look out for. This is what he's doing. This is what he's saying. This is what's going to happen. These are the type of seizures that he's having now. This is how many seizures he's going to have. And I got the biggest surprise of my life. I got a thank you. I never hear a thank you in my life. I was not expecting a thank you. Not only that, but this person hugged my girlfriend and thanked her for being a parent to her son. I was able to shake the hand of my ex-wife's husband and mean it and say thank you for stepping up and helping. And I got to tell you, that tremendous amount of guilt, fear, and worry, it just left my body like someone pours a bucket on you of water and just whoosh. I felt like 10,000 pounds lighter. And guess what happened? My son had a great time with his mom. They took him out for a great weekend. Did he have a seizure? Yes, but she knew how to handle it. Was it because of me? I don't know. Maybe. But I felt better. I think we feel better, right, Sebi? We feel better. We're able to communicate. And it's really hard for men to do that because we're fearful, because we want to be right at any cost. We want to fight, fight, fight. We won't ever really relinquish anything. We'll never let you know how we really think and feel. We're just going to just keep you at arm's bay and we're going to fight you because you'll never, ever get one on us again, ever. Once we've been burned, well, man, it's like having those walls, man, those castles, like 45-foot walls made of stone. You're never getting in. But I really wish I would have learned this exercise about 8-9 years ago. I think I would have had a better relationship. I think my sons would have had a better relationship with their mother. Not that I'm going to take all the accountability here because it takes two to tango, but male pride and ego is the death of every relationship.
Yeah.
That's right. Dead. So I'm really glad that I was able to hear some really great advice. And my gift to you guys watching this channel is for you to hear the same thing. We always pause when we're agitated. The next step should be, is this wise? Third step, be useful. Be useful. So we get all uppity. We're going to pause. We're not going to react. We're going to ask ourselves, is this wise to participate? Yes. And I want you to be useful. Okay. So that's how I'm dealing with my fears. My fears, I mean, these are great strategies, right? I'm kind of like doing the meditation. I do the physical exercise. I'm learning how to communicate better, and I'm still seeing my therapist. All four very important points, but everybody has their own, I guess, path, their own timeline. And I guess when you give up fighting everything and everyone, I think you feel better, regardless of the outcome. As they say, clean up your side of the street first. Don't judge, lest be judged. You ever hear that old adage about living in glass houses? I wouldn't throw a rock. I used to, not anymore, because I'm no longer really giving into my fears anymore. I've decided to be useful. Does any of that make sense out there? Can any of you relate? Have you done those things? Have you just been a jerk just because you are angry, because you are fearful, because you don't want to give in, you don't want to apologize, you don't think you have to apologize? That's me. I'm learning to become a better man, learning to become a better person. I'm learning to do a lot of things differently, And that same person that said thank you, well, I got the most nicest Father's Day message on a text from my ex-wife. was a really nice message. I didn't do anything differently. Honestly, all I did was be useful, and I dropped the rock. I became accepting of the situation. Instead of trying to change it and trying to manifest what I wanted, I just gave up. Things become a lot better when we cease fighting everything and everyone. We're intact, our integrity, our ego is squashed, and we must be able to give back in the sense of being useful. So, that person that you're struggling with, or that situation that you're struggling with, and all that fear that's building up with inside you, and you're going to show them, I say stop all that nonsense and try something different. Try to be useful in the situation. Yeah, I am accountable. And once I give in and I accept the situation for what it is, and I don't try to change it anymore, I can be more useful to that person that's actually angry. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right, Nick, I got your message. Yeah. It's all the things I already know about you. Seems to be getting worse though, yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is, there is not a thing I can do. I can't stop a guy with a spear.
Yeah. Well,
He's a tyrant.
let's talk about this. What type of fear are you dealing with when you send me that message? Nobody can see that message. So just let me know what you think. You know, tell us what you're going through and how it relates to fear.
Well, I'm not so much fearful for me as I am for my brother.
Yeah.
He, because I have concern for others, and having concern for others in it is an extremely healthy trait, right? And so I feel like what he's about to endure is going to tear him apart. He works, so literally, all he does is work at his sewage treatment plant, comes home and he listens to music. He makes music all day in his basement on his off days. He works 40 hours a week. I'm working 16 and contributing $1,000 in rent every single month now. Compared to what he makes, that is a drop in the bucket. Um, but I am contributing to the overall family, and I'm concerned that. So I don't think my sister-in-law wants to get a job, and my dad has had it. He is throwing down the hammer, and he is basically saying, enough of this. You don't want to get a job, you don't want to support the family, you don't want to give back. I'm not giving you any more. And I'm I will be concerned about her reaction. Um, if she finally owns up and gets a job, well, then that would be great. However, I don't think that's going to be the case because she's so used to her lifestyle. She is so used to it. Um, she might divorce my brother, and then my parents are going to come in laughing all the way and enjoying all the, everything going up in flames, basically. And I'm just going to sit there and go, why am I, why am I like just, I, me and a coworker have been talking about this for quite some time. I am the background character in a cartoon movie who is being neglected and abused when it comes to certain decisions that the family makes, because I'm not involved. And my coworker is of the archetype of you fight back, you don't sit on your morals and do nothing. Um, and I don't disagree with her. I think I do need to start being blunt, but honestly, they're so busy, and I can't, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil what my dad's up to. Now, is is what my dad what my dad is doing wrong? Yes. He should have been cutting it slowly until she finally got the point over the years that you need to get a job because my disabled kid has a job and basically supports himself.
Careful. I'm listening.
Yeah. And so again, it's not so much my fear. However, my only fear is that either two scenarios are going to occur. A, my parents move in, my parents overtake the house because what my dad doesn't want is my sister-in-law's brother coming in, ruling the basement and not paying rent. That he knows that is what they want to do. And so he's trying to prevent that from happening by not giving her any more money. Um, and because of that, um, my, my concern is my parents will overrule this house and support my brother, who I don't think wants to be supported after what they did or after what they're going to do to him. And he's probably going to want to go someplace else and not have anything to do with my parents. Or my parents are going to drag us back to Arizona, which is something that has been consistently talked about, where they live. And basically, we're going to be, the family of four again. I'm not going to put up with that. Um, my cousin, um, my cousins have been open, at least Chris has, to the idea of me being with them for a little while my brother tries to figure out what to do with his life. Because I know he's going to be pulled away from his job and he's going to hate that. That is worst case scenario de facto. Now, I would, it doesn't matter. Whichever way the wind blows, unless Amy finally goes up and gets a broken job, I am going to have to move in with my cousins because I'm not going to deal with my mom. I'm not going to deal with my dad. I am too
Hmm.
old. I'm going to be 28 here in a few days. Okay. If I could help it, I would move in with whoever. I am not going to deal with my parents. And
Gotcha.
yeah, and I wonder, it's hard for me to know if my brother will uh if he will take me with him or if he will ultimately decide that, you know what, you need to you need to be on your own. I could set you up with your cousins for a bit. I need to figure out what I want, how to get away from them and etc. You know, the thing is, this is something that I'm asking myself. It's clearly on my dad. He was not the one who was smart about this and slowly chipped away at the money while, Annie was she he let her go on Disney trips consistently. And it's just finally like, okay, well, that's on you, no one else. And when it comes, my um my brother's going to be very, very disappointed because, you know, Ryan is Ryan got her name changed or last name changed. and he's going to be devastated when Annie takes Ryan and possibly Savannah and, you know, runs back to her parents. Hello? Hello?
Sorry about that. My son fell down and I had to put him back.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So
But
that,
I was listening the whole time.
mhm,
I understand.
mhm. Yeah, it's
Well,
not
Nick,
gonna.
I would say that there's a lot of stuff that's going on. I would recommend just by listening to you and rereading your voice, I mean your emails to me. By the way, thank you. I like your emails. Uh those hard questions have to come from you. Those hard asks have to come from you. You have to say, "Hey, obviously change is coming. I'd like to go with you. Can you do that?" And start going down the list of people you want to stay with. If you know things are not going to remain the same, you need to start that those having those hard conversations.
And I am, and I am. My cousin is getting married in August. We're going to be in attendance. I'm going to do everything I can to support him because he's, no, he's my cousin. I have two, as you know, Chris and Tyler. They're both very I think they would both be willing. I know that, you know, that's the problem. I'm gonna have to pressure Tyler to start knowing what he wants to do, and possibly get out of college. He's been in college for I think 5 years now. He just he's a slave to the education system. I hate to say it. I know that's not a bad thing, but again, I just
I'm finishing up another 2 year degree.
yeah. So yeah, no, I need to stay. You know, I need to start planning these things.
Yeah. Are you afraid?
Not so again, not so much for myself. I'm more afraid for what is going to happen to my brother
Well,
because I mean,
is your
he could get.
is your brother afraid?
I don't think he knows. He doesn't know yet.
Mhm.
I don't think
Right.
anybody, you know, I'm trying to keep quiet. I'm doing my absolute hardest to keep quiet about this because I know it's going to blow up in his face, and I, I almost want to ask Annie the question. In the
Yeah.
imaginary scenario that you have no money, what would you do? Like,
It's a good
you know,
point.
yeah, yeah. What would you do? Because Tom's not going to give it to you. You know, what would you do? And if she says run away with the kids, I oh 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 that is gonna hurt him
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah. You seem like a very caring brother.
I am, I
It's good.
am. You know,
That's good. Just so we're clear, you're the one with the rare disease, right?
mhm, yeah, yeah.
And your brother is healthy.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's very healthy. Yeah, no. I mean, I have, you know, cyst in my brain. I have the laryngosel. Um, yeah, you know, I have scoliosis. I have spine changes, and actually, I did receive a kind of a new diagnosis. I apparently have cervical dystonia. Like, I can't turn my head. So, Yeah, I struggle to turn my head.
It's
So
awful. I'm
yeah,
sorry you're going through that.
yeah, it's not
You
painful,
know,
but
what I was trying to tell you, Nick, is like this is very interesting. Usually the person that's suffering from rare diseases or just sick in general rarely looks out for anyone else, let alone family members, because either you're too incapacitated or everyone's, trying to help you.
trying to help
It's,
you. Yeah.
yeah. And here you are. Look at in this life that you're doing right now. It's almost amazing because I what the audience doesn't know is that Nick and I have a long standing relationship of working together. And you have this brother that you really take care of. It's incredible in your
He
own.
helps. Yeah, yeah. He is the one who built this beautiful. He's the one who built this beautiful PC that you see right here. He's the one who's gonna help me cut the board for my model train setup. I mean, I respect him more than respect him as a person.
Good. That's good, Nick. I love hearing this. I love hearing this. You're such a good brother. You guys really work well together, man. That's great. You guys are helping each other.
We didn't
And it makes
always.
it really makes you walking through that fear a little bit, easier when you have each other to rely on, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah,
How is your brother older or younger than you?
older. He is
Wow.
older. He's older. He is by 10. So I'm 27. He's 37, I think. Hold on. 1987.
With the magnesium?
Yeah, I
Uh,
gave him a big one.
Yeah.
Let me do some quick
I,
math.
every time we talk, Nick, you really impress me.
Yeah, he's 37. So
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad you have him in your life. It
mhm.
really makes things a little bit more tolerable now that I understand the situation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we used
that's
to.
great.
Yeah, yeah. I used to. Well, I wasn't always like that. As a kid, I would always fight him. We'd always get into
Yeah.
fights. Well, okay. Occasionally we'd get into fights, but I was just a, I was just a little guy. I didn't know the world. I didn't know what was what. So I just, yeah, and again, that was mostly due to just my lack of understanding of the world around me, and I wasn't a very smart kid, and I'm still learning to be my own parent. That is a skill that I am not perfect at it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm still learning how to be my own parent. I'm still learning how to be kind to myself. I'm still learning how to accept myself for who I am and just take it one day at a time. Now, the only upside to moving to Arizona is they have a model train club over there. If I get a part-time job and I can volunteer at a model train club, I mean, that'd be great. That's the only upside to
Yeah.
that whole thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, guess we're gonna have to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we are. That's all I can do. I take it one day at a time.
Are you still working at
Uh,
the gas station?
Yes, I am, and we recently had a brand change. We went from Come and Go to Maverick. Everything's different here.
Oh,
Oh my God, you have no
right.
idea. Yeah, the aisles, like the aisles got changed, the food and everything. The way we do things is a little bit different now. We're kind of being micromanaged, which I don't mind it. I just think it's a little unnecessary because I mean, I work so hard. Like I literally walk in, I do my job, and then I go home, you know.
Got it.
Yeah, I work for
That's
four
great.
hours. Yeah, I mean, I sweep, I mop, I clean bathrooms, I take the trash out, I do the coolers, I do back stock, I stock up the stock up the food, uh yeah, I clean tables, I wash windows, I take up the trash in the parking lot. Yeah, I do everything except run the register. That's the only thing I don't do. There's
Is that
other
something
things.
you want to do?
No, because it's a little complicated and you need a they with Maverick, you have this little barcode for like a name tag. You have a barcode that they place on the back, and you can scan it, and you can uh, and you have to get logged in and whatnot. It's oh, the way that we do things is a little different compared to how we used to do it. And one of my coworkers is starting to complain about the fact that refunds, you can't give somebody a refund, whereas with Come and Go, you could. And they're like, and he's like, the older system was so much better. I'm like, I don't blame you.
You can't give anybody a refund at this place?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Or the way that they do it is different. It's, like they have like one of those, yeah, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with the register. We do have a digital only one. We
Yeah.
have three. One and three are manned. The second one is self checkout.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you know, I bag ice too. I mean, I do a lot. I do a lot for them, and they really appreciate it.
Do you like it?
I love it. It's a job I would probably, if I had to move, I mean, probably work at a grocery store, but that would be more taxing. So, you know, I
Mm.
I probably would only work. It depends on the pay. I'm getting paid really, really well at my job. My job is not the problem. I guarantee. In fact, my job is a safe haven, believe it or not. I'd take it that far.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Outside of everything you told me tonight, I just think you're doing really well. You know,
Yeah.
really, it makes me happy to see that you're stepping into fear. You're
Hmm.
really meeting it dead on, and you're having those conversations that are difficult. You're taking care of your family, um, all while you're suffering from a lot of misdiagnosis and a lot of challenges. And I think that shows a lot of strength, Nick. We've talked about that in the past about just being resilient and just being you know for lack of a better term that we used to talk about all the time, being useful.
Hmm.
It's good. You really have come a long way. It's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you.
You're
I
doing
know.
great.
I know. I'm well, part of it is just because, well, my parents, again, they don't want to be parents. They don't want to take me to these appointments and these specialists. And I'm just kind of like, well, okay, then if you're not going to help me, then I'm not going to go either, because it's just like, and that's the thing too. My mom, it's mostly my mom. In fact, I want to say it's 95% my mom who is the problem. She, d- we were coming back from SSDI, and she told me that I do not, I was telling her about how, oh, they diagnosed my scoliosis. And she's like, I don't think it's scoliosis. And I wanted to tell her, woman, do you know what I go through every day? I am,
Uh,
I know she's up, she's got her head in the sand. What she doesn't know, hold on, let me just, let me read this to you because I think it's pretty, I think it's pretty damning.
all right, we
Okay.
got like 2 minutes for you. 2 minutes left.
Okay. The excerpt
Yeah.
by Plain Whole Body. Now, this was done back in May of 2023. Their impressions were he has a dextrosclerotic curvature of the thoracic spine measuring 26 degrees from the superior end plate of T1 to the inferior end plate of T12. There's an additional level scoliotic curvature of the cervical spine, which measures 13 degrees from C2 to T1. There's marked coronial imbalance with an 18 centimeter of leftward coronial imbalance, and then there's accentuation of thoracic kyphosis, which measures 66 degrees. I'm sorry. What? You're not going to believe that report? Oh, yeah, that's because I didn't show you because you're so freaking frightful and, got your head up your ass. Sorry.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get a little sensor beep out of that.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, Nick, I appreciate you coming on. It's been a minute. I do miss you. I'm glad you came on. Sebastian, thanks for joining us tonight. Can I
Yeah.
get a thumbs up? Thumbs up. Yeah, he's amazing. You guys are doing great. So I just wanted to say, everybody out there that's watching the show via YouTube on the Raregivers Global Network, you've just been a part of a man's journey. I appreciate you coming. So look out for my blog in the Raregivers app. It's try to post that in the next day or two, kind of recapping what we talked about tonight, how to deal with fear and where it really comes from. For you tech geeks out there, you can Google that on Google Scholar about the neuroscience and fear, and enjoy those published reports. But we just do it live here. We just do it from the heart here, and we talk about how to address those fears of every day. So I'm glad you got to stay. So I'll see you all next Monday. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.